You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over.
This isn't a blood pool. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon. Why aren't you laughing?
From this moment on, none of you are safe.
Welcome to the Batman Book Club, a podcast exploring the Dark Knight Library. I'm your host, Ryan Lauer. The Batman Book Club is a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Just go to batmanonfilm.com, click on podcasts, and you'll find the Batman Podcast Network. The Batman Book Club is also on Patreon, so if you like what's going on with the show and you want to help support the show and keep those generators running in the Wayne Manor study, go to patreon.com/thebatmanbc. Now, this is a Joker month on the Batman Book Club. Batman's not taking a back seat because he's in everything that's Joker. There's no Joker without a Batman. But in honor of the Joker's 85th anniversary, his 85th birthday this year, I figured he deserves the most popular and iconic villain in all of anything, maybe? I don't know. Let's give him a whole month. Why not? So we're going to kick it off with this one. And we're going to be talking about a Joker story found in the Legends of the Dark Knight title called Going Sane. But obviously, I can't do this alone. I never would want to do it alone. I would never punish all of you and have you listen to my voice only on this show. So joining me is my friend. He's been on this show before. I've been on his podcast, Beyond the Bat Signal. It's Domenic Iannicca. Domenic, welcome back to the show.
Ryan, what a pleasure to be back on the Batman Book Club.
Oh, geez. Oh, geez.
Listen, and
it's not it's A, but okay.
listen, can I just start? I noticed that on, I think it was Twitter, X, whatever. You posted like the new Joker month cover, and those changes. I was like, I like it for 89. And I was like, and when you asked me to come on, this entire year, you were posting nonstop Joker covers. And I was like, oh man, I love it. Like all these Joker covers are like bomb, like nonstop. And I'm like, yep, like, repost, like. And was this like something in the making the entire year that you thought of?
Yeah. It was this is going to culminate at some point this year. I'm going to just start posting some Joker covers, ones that pretty much anybody who reads Batman comics knows. Maybe / hopefully some surprises to just, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of, celebratory Joker stuff around either, which kind of surprises me because like I'm not leading you here. I want you to answer genuinely and honestly, Domenic, but do you think Joker is the most popular villain in like pop culture?
Yes.
Okay.
No, there's not a shadow of doubt. There's no 1B, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know who in pop culture, like who's close to the Joker. I don't know. I really don't know.
One of those Spider-Man fans, it's gonna be like Venom, Green Goblin.
Like Venom.
Come on.
But I just always try to think of like the go to like the both ends of the spectrum of like the possible like oldest generation and then like the youngest generation and who do both ends know, and I'm like Joker. Like, they all know for like different variations, sure. But like I think everybody just knows who the Joker is, and so I appreciate that you noticed that I was doing that, and little did both of us know, I think, that you were going to be here to kick it off because I didn't know when. It was just like some point I think I'm going to do a Joker month, and a little secret, I did a Joker week the first I think it was November, that first year doing this show.
Okay.
And I used that same image. The one with the Batman Book Club image,
Oh,
but it got
did you?
Jokerized. I did.
Man,
I
that
was trying
went
to
over
find
my head.
I was trying to find my original. No, that's okay because I don't expect anybody to remember because the show is kind of just getting started. And like we're talking like 5 years ago that was posted.
Wow.
And I had a lot of fun with it though because I was like, because it was one of the it might have been a Photoshop filter or something, and it just purpled, like did a layer of purple over it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this could be a Joker, and then you could start writing like kind of like how Heath Ledger's Joker did, Jokerized a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, what could be some fun things that I could do with this and this, and I just had a blast with it, and then I just kind of like never saw it again. until this year, and I was thinking of, Joker turns 85. Wait, where's that image? I gotta find that image. So there we go.
Oh man.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it
no,
was
it's
fun.
pretty sweet. I love
Pretty
it.
fun. I appreciate it.
Before we get going, I
Yeah,
got another question. Is
sure.
it a coinky dink that you're wearing purple today?
I did not, I mean, and even more so. So,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
it's even 89,
Batman,
Batman
let's
89.
go.
Hey,
Yeah,
who's the
love it.
villain in Batman 89?
Heyo,
Joker.
Joker.
Yeah, it's my Let's Go 89 shirt from Jay Rocca, also known as Justin Kowalski. Had this shirt for like 5 years, and it's holding up pretty well. I think nothing's really all that faded either.
No.
Uh,
Looks
so
crisp.
yeah, I love purple. There we go. Dominic, are you ready to talk some comic books?
Let's roll.
All right, let's talk and get into Batman going sane. Now, this story was released in 1994. It was found in the Legends of the Dark Knight title, a title that I constantly praise on this show. But it was in issues number 65, 66, 67, and 68, written by Hall of Famer J.M. DeMatteis. J.M. Did I just say G? J.M. DeMatteis, my goodness. And with art by Joe Staton. This was released physically, obviously, back in the 90s. It was collected in a trade paperback, hard to find because it's been out of print. Maybe not hard to find. You'll just have to pay more than what I think you'll want to. It's also available digitally and it's available on the DC Universe Infinite app. It is not, however, available on my favorite app of all time, Hoopla. So for
Boo.
this episode, yeah, boo. For this episode, Dominic, which version did you read?
I'm gonna hold it right up. I got the yeah, collected
You've got that
trade
out
pair
of print trade.
Yeah, I got it. I got it actually on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, good for you.
$30 Canadian, which
Okay.
I guess American would be 20.
Oh, that's good price.
But it seemed like someone was, and it was mint, like it was mint.
I said
So
you held it up. It looks like in great shape.
yeah, it's in
Almost, I'd
great
almost
shape.
say new.
Yeah, yeah, it's
That's
fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So, and it's like one of those, I feel like underrated Joker stories.
Ooh, okay.
Um,
We've got layers to pull
oh
back on.
yeah,
I want to ask you specifically about that trade. Is there like any extras in that? Is there any like an intro? Is there any kind of
oh
extra art or covers in the back? Or is it
yes, there's something
pretty?
in the back. There's a new cover. It just
I
says
think I looked.
Batman going sane.
Oh, cool.
Can you see?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And
Nice. Okay.
then no, they got a new like a different story. Gotham
That's like
Emergency.
I think when I was looking stuff up, it was like uh Legends of the Dark Knight number 100 maybe or something like that was included in it also.
It
And so
might be.
maybe
Is it
that's
written
it.
by Eddie Campbell and Darren
Yes.
White? Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't read it for this
Yeah.
show.
That's all right. We're not going to talk
Um,
about it. But I'm
okay.
just kind of, but now I need to look that one up. Yeah, because the DC its description of that trade is discover whether the Joker would become sane if Batman disappeared in this thriller collecting Legends of the Dark Knight 65 to 68 and 100. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Fair. All right, so it's got that extra. It's got a new like cover, like title page, which looks good.
Which is of like it's Batman holding Joker, and he looks like he's dead. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
See? It's you know what it reminds me of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit, except like Joker smiling in this one, but
Uh-huh.
the end of Arkham City where Batman's just walking
Oh,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of looks like that.
That Joker definitely looks more dead than
Oh
the
yeah.
image you're showing me.
Oh yeah.
But okay, well, man, you what a good find for
Yeah.
you.
I love it.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's a good price. Let's see. I went floppy and I read the original
Ooh.
comics.
And those are mint.
I mean, yeah, they're I wouldn't say like brand new, but like yeah, I it definitely meant more on that here in just a couple minutes. Do you remember when you first read this story?
You're darn right I do. This
Okay.
past week.
Okay.
I finished it this past week. I was actually reading it throughout the summer. And then it got kind of a little halted. I had a little girl, and
Woo!
so it took a little bit of a break. and then I went back to it because I need to refresh. And then
Hmm.
you said, "Hey, do you want to come on the show?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And then I just reread issues, well, the third and fourth issue yesterday,
Okay.
and
So this is
finally,
fresh.
oh yeah, it's fresh. Wrote some notes down.
Perfect.
That's because you got to put in the work. Shout out
That's
to
right.
Pete for letting him know I'd still take notes on Lauer's
That's
show.
right. Um, great. I can't remember when I first read this, but I mean it's been decades. I
Oh.
don't know. I don't remember when I got these issues. I don't. I don't think it was in the initial stack of comics that I've referenced on here, but
Hmm.
I don't remember. At some point, I got this and then The Demon Laughs, which is also in Legends of the Dark Knight, a Joker story with Ra's al Ghul. And those that like I've always had those at the same time,
Hmm.
but I don't remember when that was. So that being said, I don't remember when I first read this, but I mean, it was decades ago, and it's just been spaced out in my readings to where I know generally what the story's about, but since it's been a while, like I don't remember specifics. And it's kind of fun when I revisit some of those stories because it is like I know I've read this and it's not my cop out of like I just want to make it sound like I've read this before. No, I've read this. It's very foggy. So, I mean, you kind of just answered, the last question here of like why going sane? Well, I think it's because it, correct me, but when I was posting different covers, I posted this cover and you
Yes.
commented that you
Yep.
just read it
Yeah. I was just
or you were
reading it.
reading
And I
it.
was like, I was in the midst of reading. I'm like, I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. So I commented on it, and then yeah, shoot me a message. But it was actually so how it all started was actually because I know you're pretty big, and you always say like Legends of the Dark Knight underrated,
Hmm.
and there's something about like kind of going back to those types of issues,
Yeah.
and it's not in continuity. You kind of can just go in arc and like kind of go in fresh,
Yeah.
which was nice. And then going sane was one of those issues that constantly like I'd see Joker covers. I'm like, I really want to read a Joker story. And you go through YouTube, I'm sure, and you're like constantly looking at different, I don't know, stories of like what would intrigue me. And then I'm like, oh, Legends of Dark Knight, this is one of them. Like, you know what? I'm gonna try to do like a little search. And yes, it's out of print. It can be expensive. If you go on eBay, I
Yeah.
should check out right now how much it's going for.
And
Um,
I think when I looked it up, I actually looked it up today, and
oh,
US price, there's a used one that's like 25 and then shipping, and it looked
okay.
like it was in really good condition. And then I spotted like two or three others that were pretty expensive and kind of varied in condition. So who
Yeah.
knows if it's still there by the time this episode drops or not. But that's what I found.
Wow.
So
Look
good
at
for you.
that. Not too
Yeah,
bad.
good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy about it.
No,
It's
and
a little
and
collection.
that's a whole so like going sane and then as I just mentioned demon laughs, they're two that they've stuck with me even though they're both pretty foggy.
Hmm.
They've stuck with me for a long time. And so they were ones that when I was thinking about like, okay, I'm gonna do a Joker month. I don't know which ones. I don't flat out like ask the whole point is to ask someone, "Hey, do you want to come back on the show?" And then it's like the floor is yours. What do you want to talk about? What do you
Yeah.
want to read? And so it's like I don't like telling people, but I'm like, man, it'd be cool if I could talk one or both of those. And yeah, so when you said that you were just, you just started reading it and I was like, this is where the stars are aligning again.
Oh,
Okay.
here we
All
go.
right. All right, this sounds good.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you'd informed me that you just, again, shout out whoop whoop, that you just became a dad. And
Yep.
I was like, okay, well, I understand if you can't because, hey, you have another life that you're responsible for. But yeah, you were very willing, like, yeah, let's do it. Yes. So here we are.
The wife was like, "You want to go on the show? Go right ahead." I'm like, "Okay, here we go."
And that make you feel happy. You're like, I chose correctly. Like, your lady
That's
choose
it.
constantly. Like, she's even said about like for certain things, like she'll be like, well, I was thinking that we could put some Batman stuff here. We could put Batman here. And I'm like, you do realize nobody will believe that this was your idea. And she's like, yeah, well, I just think it'd look good. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Oh God,
I
I put a
chosen the
ring
right
on
one.
it.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was gonna say I wanted to throw in a couple of things. I'm not
Okay,
sure. Um,
let's
things
go.
that you might, I don't know if you knew this, maybe you did, or maybe you had this in your background. Notes, I don't know.
My notes.
But DeMatteis, he actually
Hmm.
pitched this idea in the mid 1880s. But however, this was actually like unusual and like the story was considered like a little dark. And this was actually before The Killing Joke and Arkham Asylum that came out. So
Hmm.
this DeMatteis actually pitched this in the mid 1880s, before obviously it came out in 94, I
Hmm.
think it was. So I thought that was pretty interesting, right? Like it is like there's especially that first issue, you're like, oh, at the end, and it's just my eyebrows were raised. I was like, oh, they went there. Like but yeah, and I know that he went on like a little bit of um it kind of shifted because obviously you had Dark Knight Returns, which was a bit more of a darker story, and then The Killing Joke, and then they're like, well, listen, this actually fits in perfectly.
Hmm. So all that I could find, because I couldn't find anything where DeMatteis talked about this story specifically,
Hmm.
which is why I did reach out to him, and he
Oh,
responded to me, and I asked if he had any kind of, let's see, I reached out to him, and I said, "Do you have any fun tidbits or Easter eggs or stories from writing this?" And he said, "Nothing special, just that it remains one of my all-time favorite projects."
wow,
Awesome. Like I'll take anything, any kind of response. So this fact that he replied, like I appreciate it.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
and I saw on dc.fandom.com that under their notes, it says the plot for this story had originally been submitted to DC by DeMatteis in the mid 80s, but was rejected because it was too similar to another Batman story in production at that time, Batman the Killing Joke.
Oh,
So you expanded on it more than what I saw, and I couldn't find anything else other than uh, there was some comment somewhere that had said after rejection, he took this to Marvel and it became Craven's Last Hunt for Spider-Man.
yes,
And then
that's what I'm
DC
reading
came
to.
back. Okay, great. How did
Yeah,
like I couldn't even find any of that information anywhere. And I'm like, I want more information. I want
yeah,
more.
that's
Give
as
me
much
more
as I got.
information. But like I don't remember anything. The only similarity to me that I can see of it being close to Killing Joke is Joker then ends up looking similar to how he did in the Killing Joke, and he doesn't
Yeah,
have the white skin
yeah.
yet, or but otherwise, like I don't remember anything else that stood out to me. So looking for it this time, maybe it's trying to project
Hmm.
certain things, and I only saw there's an image of Batman in the Batcave with a bunch of monitors and Jokers on all the monitors.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like, okay, that makes me think Killing Joke, but that's just like that's not the story. That's the art, which comes way after the story. So I don't know that that's necessarily something they're like, this is too close. And then also the like the non-Joker look. And then
hmm,
also on the GCPD by the Bat Signal is a guy dressed as Joker. In reality, it's not the Joker. And that is a quick, nod to the beginning of Killing Joke of the guy in
yeah.
Arkham. But it's
That was the,
like, hmm,
sorry
I
about
don't,
that.
no, no, no. I don't see many. I guess. Like honestly, I guess I can see.
So, I guess we're gonna jump right into it because
Yeah,
I was like, okay,
go
maybe the
everywhere.
similarity was it him beating up the cancel woman Kenner? And I'm like,
Hmm.
maybe it's that because I was like, I read that too, like where it's like, oh, it's similar. I'm like, was it that he had a love interest and similar, kind of like it's his backstory in Killing Joke? And I'm like, and like I don't see that similarity necessarily. Um, and then what was the other one? I think that was it. Like those were like the two main, but that was it. Like it was just I looked at it
Yeah.
more from the like just specific tiny little story points and but no, I couldn't really see like big similarities. Not at all.
And so then, yeah, for me, then maybe it's just the pure fact of Joker is a civilian. We have a
Yeah.
civilian Joker, and I'm like,
And he likes comedy.
okay, I guess.
Yeah. And I think he
I
liked comedy.
guess. But I don't remember how long The Killing Joke was in production because that came out in '88, and if this was proposed mid '80s,
Yeah.
that's got like a 2 or 3 year jump on it still. So I don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
Regardless, like I still, even after reading it this time, it's like I separate Going Sane and The Killing Joke
Yeah.
because they're just flat out different stories,
Oh yeah.
like
100%. One's an
full
origin
stop.
story in my opinion.
Yeah.
Kind of.
One's an
Yeah.
origin story if you believe that that's Joker's
Yeah.
origin, and the other one is the Joker. It tells this great thing that I feel like we've latched onto in our lifetime, and I think others have latched, like writers and creators have latched onto also, of like that Batman and Joker are just they're a pair.
Yeah.
Like Joker needs Batman, and I think that's what DeMatteis brings here. The whole point of Going Sane of like, okay, what happens with Joker if there's no Batman? Well, he's just kind of like, well, then I'm done.
Yeah.
It's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
And then
It's
it explores that.
yeah. I just think of like the sad face of Mark Hamill's Joker where he thinks Batman's passed
Yes.
away and it's just like what am I gonna do? Right?
Yeah.
That's what immediately what I think of and I'm like it is an interesting concept, right?
Yeah.
Because like where the character kind of explores like where they explore Joker of like what would he be like if he was completely sane?
Hmm.
Which I thought was like they went like a bit more in depth to Joker's psyche with these four issues in comparison to the Killing Joke, and which I liked. Like I dug it. Like I enjoyed like that they had a love interest. I enjoyed that it's like I guess that there's no Batman. Like what can I do? There's no purpose. And like Heath Ledger's Joker says, I guess we're destined to be together,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, like I thought that and where that it was almost like Joker wanted to kill Batman, and then when he was dead, he was like, "Oh, I guess that's the joke." Like now what?
Yeah.
And where they take him was pretty interesting. Like that first issue, that first chapter, in my opinion, was like they had a strong start. Like Batman and I think Joker had like three different outfits, by the way, so, throughout the story.
He loves to
Which
play dress up.
Oh yeah. And it was during the winter time, and then all of a sudden, this guy's just got look like Christmas ornaments, and there were bombs, and boom, just like talk about a strong start. Like we're 3 pages in.
Yeah, it's almost like an Independence Day parade in the
Oh, it is. Sorry.
winter in the
Yeah,
middle of, you know, of the street in a neighborhood, and then it just turns into this, bombing, which ends up killing people. So it's, yeah, like it does have a very strong start, and then kind of doesn't, let up there, because then,
no,
as if that isn't horrific enough, it's like then he kidnaps this councilwoman, and then in pure Joker fashion takes her to a theater to show her old comedies, and
yeah,
then he beats the hell out of her, which is also like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Oh yeah. I was like, what
And
the
then
heck?
yeah, and then by the end, it's like he lures Batman to blow him up, and then
Yeah.
it is very much of like, it's another outfit change, blows up that theater, and then is okay. Well, now
They
what?
leave him for dead, and
Yep.
it kind of threw me off though. There was a like I like the story. There was a couple
Hmm.
of things where I'm just like, like it kind of I didn't know what happened to Kenner. I didn't.
Let's
They
talk
kind
about
of
it.
just like you're. It's kind of left up to the reader. Like I just assumed that she was dead. Like he beat her, and like they didn't show too much, obviously, but he's beating her, and I'm like, okay, like that's it. She's done. And then in the next issue, she's back, and she's
There's
you
no
know
injuries. She seems normal. She's
no,
just
she's
the
completely.
talking head on the news. Like,
Yeah. I'm
huh?
like, what? No scratches, nothing to report that she was beaten, nothing. So it kind of threw me off because I'm like, am I looking at the same person here? But I don't know. But it does mention like on the news, like Councilwoman Elizabeth Kenner hasn't been seen in weeks. I think
That's
that's what it
fair.
said.
That's true.
So like that was the only thing. I'm like, okay, but then all of a sudden she shows up on TV. But yeah, like I thought that was pretty good. Like even to start things off as to like, okay, well, Batman was found. Obviously, that there's two kids that kind of found him, and Dr. Eagles was saying like, not the kids were not sure if he was dead, right? So that's where we kind of leave off, and we're like, okay, so Batman's still alive, thank God.
Yeah.
And then Joker obviously blows up that Comedia theater,
Hmm.
um, which which was a nice little ending to that issue. I mean, hey, it had me hooked. Um,
It was so I think the story is paced really well
yes, I agree.
because it doesn't rush right into. It does take that entirety of that first issue
Mhm.
of Joker doing some Joker things, some pretty dark Joker things.
Oh yeah.
Batman, he's physically upset in the Batcave. Um, and then it's another game of Joker getting Batman. Joker traps him, blows him
Mhm.
up. So it's like that's the entirety of it's setting the table. And then, like you said, Batman's found, by the edge of the river,
Yeah.
and he's all bloody, he's a mess, his mask is mostly off, and he's
Yeah.
found by kids, and so then the next two issues are like exploring Joker's psyche, and I know that mostly for me too is like a big no-no for people. They're
Hmm.
like, I don't want to know what the Joker's thinking. I don't want to know what the Joker's thinking. But for me, the reason why this one works though is because I mean, we even see with the font of the text changes,
I
you know?
love that little tiny detail
Yeah,
of where
it's
it's kind of jagged and then it kind of just
yeah.
softens and like you can see like he's going sane.
And then it becomes very proper.
Yeah.
And like it changes as you'd said when at the end when he blows up the theater at the end of the first issue. So for me it's him it's goes hand in hand with the story, and as he's going sane, that's when we're getting more of, you know, into his mind, but it's still like I don't know, it's not going against the character.
No.
It's not trying to get us sympathetic with Joker and be like, like, oh, he's just a troubled guy. We need to give. No, it's not trying to. And I think that's kind of the whole point of those early actions of him in that first issue as well, is, kind of a reminder of like, we're not cheering for him. We're
No.
not on his side. It's telling that story of when he doesn't have Batman to take up his time, like he feels like, what am I then?
Yeah.
And then he explores this civilian and normal relationship
Yeah.
with this sorry, this poor woman.
The-
you know
It's the polar opposite, like of
yeah,
his actual life. He's basically living like, a regular human being, and he's got an apartment. He says he moved to Gotham, within a couple of weeks ago, and typical like how you normally meet people. When someone drops groceries, you help them, and then boom, spark a relationship. But yeah, like I actually kind of dug it, and like even how they started, like that issue where Joker was having or Joseph Kerr, as it's
that's
shared,
right,
is
old Joseph
having,
Kerr.
yeah, loved it. And it's, and he's got like these dreams where of who he once was, and he just wakes up freaking out. And we kind of see that reoccurring throughout
Yeah,
the issues, and where he's having these bad dreams, and DeMatteis kind of reminds you that he's having these bad dreams, and I think it was his partner, was it Rebecca?
yeah.
Yeah, who's reminded of it. And she just kind of calms him down, and it's like she loves him for who he is. It didn't matter. And yeah, and then like you have poor Alfred just like wondering where's Batman. He
Well,
looks depressed, and then all you see is his face of Joker when he goes onto the computer, just staring right at him. Yeah, and
what do you
obviously,
think? Well, real quick, when he turns into Joseph Kerr, which I just think of the tease of Joker at the end of Batman Begins, and
mhm.
how that baggie with the Joker card in it, and it says Jade period Kerr. That's just what I thought of right away, and it made me think of like, was this their pull? They pull from Going Sane, or is it just a? I mean, it's not like
Oh,
the biggest leap, or extremely obvious. This is where they got Jay Kerr or anything like that. But I was just kind of like my mind was just moving. I'm like, I wonder if that was their poll was this. I don't know.
I
But
wouldn't
do
even
you
be
think
surprised.
how do you think this went down, him creating this persona of Joseph Kerr, and
Oh
how he's an
man.
accountant and his parents left him money for him to get back on his feet. He's got the steady job and he got this new apartment. Like, does all that work for you, or is this just part of his psyche just Joker being Joker, and like what would be funny is if I created this whole brand new person.
I want to say that he went through like a psychiatric transformation. I forget if they mentioned this throughout the story, if he was having some sort of pills, but you know, when people are unstable, I find that even them, they will start to make stories up that they believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Like that's just in my head, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
he's got like these bad dreams of his previous life, but like he's like, no, he's like, I'm here. He's like, I have no idea where I am. But it's almost like he went from being on a drug to being completely sane. And but I don't know. I think that he's obviously made up these stories. For me, listen, this is comics. It works for me.
Yeah,
Um, I don't want to read too much into it. Like to me, it's just like it's an exploration of what if Joker went completely sane,
yeah.
and you know, he kind of, I'm sure, like for him, like you know, he went and obviously got a transformation where his skin went completely from, you know, very, very white to just like a regular Caucasian man,
Mm-hmm.
and it works for me. How about you? Did it
Yeah,
work? Did it?
it totally worked for me. I feel, man, I can't pick a lane
Yeah.
because I could see where Joker would find this to be hilarious if he just created this elaborate backstory, and he would just go and steal money, and he's got money to pretend to play, play this
Hmm.
pretend life. But then the depths that it goes to also seems, I don't know, like Joker could also, I could see him doing that too, because that'd just be funny for him, this weird
Yeah.
joke for him to,
Oh, I
what if
love
I
that
acted
take.
like I'm a, oh my gosh, I'm an accountant, because that's so like boring. What if I'm an accountant and I find this woman and she loves me for me and we get married and we live this dream life? Like that would be hilarious to him. And then also, I think he plays it, DeMatteis plays it to where you can also believe that this is 100% genuine. This
Yeah.
is a
Like,
man that really, this is the effect. It's a reversal of Batman. Like Bruce Wayne needs to be Batman,
yes.
and Joker needs to be Joker. As much as he wants to try to not be, if you want to go that route with it,
Hmm.
he needs to be Joker, and that's why these things are like flashing in his brain. That's
Oh,
why he
yeah.
keeps having these dreams. It's because he needs that.
And like little things that triggered him. I don't know if you remember where he saw the Joker card and he's like, what the heck? And it just kind of like upset him.
Yeah,
Uh, which I thought was nice. Like nice little touch
that's a good
for
touch.
Demetrius to add.
Yep.
Um, what was I gonna
We
say?
get the explanation of the one doctor who does do the surgeries, like the physical surgeries, and they found his body. Was it like
Yes.
found it in like bloated in the river or something like that
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Which then
And
leads Batman in his detective work to the doctor's wife, Dorothy.
oh my
Man,
God,
she gets a
Dorothy.
she gets a lot of attention when I don't know, she's kind of I feel like she's kind of irrelevant. And maybe I
Yeah, I
missed
thought she was
something.
irrelevant too. I didn't understand why. Like, I kind of would have preferred seeing that process of like Joker going through that change. I don't,
Hmm.
the whole fight with Dorothy, and was she on the cover of that issue?
She is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't get it. Like why she got that kind of attention.
Yeah, I
It was a
agree.
giveaway as to like, okay, but this is what happened with Joker, and it's like, okay, here's the breakthrough. Um, and it's leading him, Batman, to solve the mystery of who or what, who's Joker, like who is it
Yeah.
that's roaming around. Um, but yeah, she got quite the attention where Batman had to ask simple questions, and it kind of just triggered, huh? Like, and he's like, all I needed to know was that look, right? It wasn't the
Hmm.
exacto knife that she took out. It was just like a look that she gave him.
Well, and it's
I think it was by the,
hmm.
the second issue. I was gonna ask you about
Hmm.
this.
All right.
I
Bring it
got
on.
a voice of Arnold Schwarzenegger when
You got the
he
Arnold
said,
Swat.
"I'm back" at the end of that issue. And I know
Alfred,
I'm
I'm
jumping all
back.
over the place, but
I told you I'd be back and I'm back.
but
I didn't, but
no.
now I will. So thanks for that gift. Whenever I
Oh
reread
yeah,
this in the future, I'm gonna get to that. Go, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah. Thanks, Dominic.
it's pretty good.
Dominic.
Ah.
That's funny. That's a great image too.
Oh
I like
yeah.
that. Batman basically in all silhouette in the Batcave. Good stuff.
Yeah. It was
Also,
good.
like you said, I'm I'm jumping all over the place, but that's it's what we do. The I'm with you on Alfred. Of he's just kind of it shows you a little bit of like Alfred's kind of lost without this
Yes.
also.
Yeah.
And it's like it only makes you like Alfred more if that's even possible.
Oh God.
Of he's not in this unwillingly. He is the I think that's what it does annoy me in the ongoing titles that Alfred's absent in the Batman comics right now, just
Yeah.
because he's just like I don't know. For me, Batman, classic Batman, Manor, Batcave, Alfred, Gordon.
Yeah.
Like everything else is just like it's fine. But those are the give me Batman. Those are the things that I want, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And um, the newest Batman #1 does something a little different with that. I won't spoil it.
Oh, okay. I
We'll
was
see
about
where
to
that
ask.
goes. I won't. I
Yeah.
won't. I won't spoil
Oh,
it.
okay.
But yeah. So I mean that's another strength of going back to back issues is that Alfred's there. Alfred's
Yeah.
always there. And it's like,
Yeah.
there's our old friend.
Oh yeah.
um, man, there's something else I had on here. Go
So
ahead.
you know what? Like you even see like Joker or Alfred speaking on him, and then I'll jump to Gordon. But like
Yes.
Alfred just
Okay.
kind of putting away Bruce's jacket away, and then like you hear in the news like of what's going on with Batman. I kind of love the image that Joe Staten put, where you have like a vintage Joker and a vintage Batman in the news.
Oh, Dick
Which is a
Spring.
nice. Oh
Is that
yeah,
it's
Dick's
old school Dick
love it.
Spring looking? Yeah, that's fun.
And the Jim Gordon that I see here gave me vibes of the one from BTAS. I don't know if you felt that way. I
Yes.
kind of did. And then we kind of jumped to where again, like, um, this is where it kind of gave me those small little vibes of the Killing Joke, but not necessarily. So, you know, Joseph Kerr and Rebecca, they love old school 1940s. Seems like it's old school television, comedy, listen
Mm-hmm.
to old music. But then he's got this like what was it? Where it's something was it I think it was the news on, and all of a sudden you see this image of Rebecca, and then it kind of turns into Cancel Woman. Oh my gosh, Kenner,
Okay.
and right away he's got this image or something that happened in the past of him beating the daylights out of Kenner. And he raises his fist, and Rebecca's just like, "Oh my goodness!" And right away, Joseph Kerr just kind of comes to his senses and he's like, "Oh my God, Rebecca!" And he just kind of takes off. And Rebecca's obviously like frightened, and the Joker's slowly creeping out. And I was gonna jump to Jim Gordon, who's also feeling the loss of Batman, where he's putting on the bat signal, and Batman's just not showing up. And obviously, he waits and waits and waits and he's like he's not coming back and just turns him off. um the one thing I noticed and I did like was and especially in that second issue was Rebecca was talking a lot like this was in past tense, like she was telling the reader the story from her perspective, which I actually liked. I actually enjoyed that. They got better after that on or maybe I convinced myself that they did. Like to me, it was just like I was reading, like I was seeing it visually, but I was reading her own like little diary throughout it.
I agree
Yeah.
because especially when it is in that second issue that you just talked about, and it's kind of at one moment where, yeah. So following what you just said, where he was talking to Rebecca, and then he saw the councilwoman, and then it flashed
Yes.
to him and beating her, and then he grabbed her and was, yeah, about to hit her, and then snapped out of it, and he takes off running, and he's giggling to himself. We have her writing, and she says it won't, I guess deep down, I was afraid that if I took Joseph to a doctor, if we found out what was really troubling him, he'd change. and I'd lose the only man who ever loved me. Funny thing is,
Hmm.
in the end, I lost him anyway. So it's definitely
Yeah.
reflective. It's looking back, and I mean the story wraps up that way as well. So it's interesting. Let me go to the very end to see. I don't think we ever got much of like a. I'm not gonna say a payoff, but we didn't give. Yeah, we don't get an image where she's like writing in a diary or anything like that. She's just
Yeah,
looking
no.
at a picture of the two of them, and that's the final image that we have of her is reminiscing and looking at a picture. So I think maybe that'd be a good way to wrap it up with her
Hmm.
is if she was like writing in a diary or something, you know. Um, because
Yeah.
it's a bummer for her
Yeah,
in this because she's written very likable, which I think you have to do for the story to work.
of course.
Uh, to work as well as it does. Because if it was just some throwaway character or somebody that you don't really root for, you don't really care about or nothing, then like how much are you really gonna care that this sane Joker is going for this woman, whereas we empathize with her, even though it's like, no, you need to not be with this guy because he's on the edge of going back to being, the clown prince of crime, who we also see in the story does some pretty terrible stuff.
Oh yeah.
And but it's like that's almost DeMatteis's like emotional tie with it though is her because then at the end like she's as there's the update like almost the irony. So Joseph Kerr ends up leave like disappearing going down the river
Hmm.
and she just thinks that like the tide took him
Yeah.
and like never found him again when when in reality he that's when he flipped his switch back to being Joker. And
Joker,
so
yeah.
this after the big confrontation with Batman and Joker there at the end, like that's on the news playing behind her, and she has her
Yeah.
back turned to it as she's looking and crying about, missing Joseph. And it just kind of like, I don't know, that's a really good, like sad ending. As weird as that sounds, like that's a good
No.
sad ending. It's a good tragic ending for this character. It's like she's admitted how many times in this of just like she's 35 and she's never been in love before and she finally found one that I'm in love and it's like oh she's scarred
Yeah.
like 'cause she has
Oh yeah.
no finality to that if she saw a body or knew the like oh he ended up becoming the Joker there's a way for her to close the book and move on but this it's just open
Yeah.
so how is she
Couldn't.
supposed to move on so you can sit there and convince yourself of like she doesn't find another guy again because she's gonna always be looking for Joseph.
This is to me, what Andrea Beaumont was to Bruce Wayne or Batman, and it is the equivalent of
Nice.
Rebecca to Joseph Kerr slash Joker. That is what it is. It's like that ending where it's like kind of a sad ending for the female character. It to me, it's so similar. Just the only difference is it's Joker.
Nice. That's a good
No,
comparison. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. You brought
we're on the
up
same
Gordon.
wavelength. Sorry,
You brought up Gordon. You mentioned Gordon.
Gordon. Yes, sir.
Do you feel like he's underserved here?
I feel like he's just getting it in the news. And is he underserved? Yeah. I mean, like he's got to constantly be answering to the cancel woman, and he's just like, yeah, yeah, like listen, like Batman's gone, like, and she's constantly attacking. I mean, he's got no answers whatsoever. Um, but is he underserved? I think that's a good question. I'd say yes, because by the end of the story, like, there's no real closure to for Batman, or sorry, for Joe, for Gordon, other than I knew you'd be back. And I do like the part where, I mean, the one part where, I mean, Gordon was just kind of like you can see through his own mind where it's like he was going through some pain. It's like he's kind of missing his friend. But when Batman does show up, there's like this relief that I feel as a reader for Gordon, and I feel like that character was feeling relief as well that Batman was back. Cleverly written and drawn though, where Batman was just in the shadows,
Yeah.
to show no weakness, especially to Gordon,
Yeah.
and where Batman really just wanted to open up, and
Hmm.
which I felt like that part had a lot of heart. Um, between those two characters, and rightfully so. I feel like no matter what, that between Batman and Gordon, they are someone that could be considered friends, but they don't have, or as Batman would say, doesn't have the luxury of friends,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I really did like it. But is he underserved? It just feel like he kept constantly getting in. He just didn't say anything. Um, and because he didn't know the answer to any of it, right?
Yeah.
How about you?
I do. But I don't know what else could have been done
Exactly. Yeah.
with him. And I always wanted to be like on here, the one who judges the story presented to me, not one of those fakers, to not
Yeah.
lack of a better term, who thinks that like, you know what they should have done, you know what this professional writer should have done, acting as if I know better. It's just in thinking about it with me, it's like, oh, there's Gordon, but we get Gordon sitting at his desk multiple times throughout the story,
Yeah.
and that's almost like about it. Now, okay, to give Gordon more time is to take away from Joseph Kerr and
Yeah.
Batman's rehabilitation, which I think there was a great amount length of time in these four issues
Hmm.
for those two, which and those two take precedent over Gordon. So
Yeah.
what's Gordon supposed to? Are we just supposed to follow Gordon as he takes down a mugger or something? Uh, and then he's confronted by a reporter somewhere, but it's like, but where's Batman? Like, maybe I don't know. I don't know what could have been done more with Gordon, but I also feel as if like we just check in on him here, where he's just sitting in his behind his desk,
Yeah.
and
And just feeling,
okay. But I get
yeah.
exactly what you said of feels beats as also, especially with Batman being in the shadows and just showing up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I mentioned it, already. Wayne Manor, Batcave, Alfred, Gordon, and the internal dialogue from Batman when he's like in that scene, even he's like, Jim Gordon's one of the most decent men I've ever known. He kind of talks
Hmm.
the positives about Gordon and how much he appreciates Gordon and stuff. And it's like us as fans, we like feeling all like warm and fuzzy and be like, see, he likes Jim Gordon.
Oh
They're
yeah.
like best friends. Yay for
They
them.
they I just going through the fourth issue, and I don't see Jim Gordon in it at all.
Hmm.
Um, which I mean, again, I think he does serve his purpose. So like just having that relief that Batman's back and listen, like we're gonna get to the bottom of this and bring justice, is exactly like I feel like that's exactly it. To me, Gordon, Alfred, they are in it enough just to show also like the people closest to Batman what they're going through as well. I
Hmm.
mean, it 6 months that they had Batman like he was basically rehabilitating for 6 months. He was out of the game
Yeah,
while
I don't
Joseph Kerr
remember.
was just living his life.
Yeah, this that's where I'm like, could this have gone another issue? M-
Huh.
Maybe,
Okay.
but then, is would that have just provided a little more, I don't know, meandering? But it's not meandering, but like I'm thinking, this two-page spread in issue 67, so chapter 3 basically. In the gosh, what's the town called? The little
Oh,
town that the doctor
Accord.
Accord. Like
Yes.
in a two-page spread, they kind of cover it all.
Yeah,
And
they
so
do.
it's like, well, instead, do I just need each section of this to just be an entire page or 2 pages instead and really milk it and add another issue? I'm like, I
No.
don't think so.
No.
Like, if you take your time in reading this, then you can feel like the story is taking its time and it's not cutting corners by just being like, well, let's just run through it all really quick here on these 2 pages and then we'll get going. Because I think we also get enough time with that doctor. Man, I should have written down her name.
Dr. Eagles.
Thank you, Dr.
Dr.
Eagles.
Lynn Eagles.
So there is a minor goof in
Oh.
how they find him at the end of issue 1, and his face is Yeah, his face is it looks like fully revealed at the end of issue
Oh
one.
yeah, absolutely.
And then when they do, it might be issue three, I don't know, but it's like she's talking to him about how they found him and whatever. Yeah, it is. It's issue three. And they found him, he's fully masked.
Oh man, I didn't even
And so
notice
it's like
that.
it's not a huge deal, but it's kind of like, well, yeah. And then she talks about her, so you sympathize with her, you feel for her, like, oh, this is a good character, like a good
Oh yeah,
supporting
she was
character
great.
popping up in here. And it takes a really dark turn with her.
100%.
And I was like, whoa, I'm not going to tell a writer yet again what that writer should or should not write, should or should not do, or like I know better. But she's, as Batman, Bruce is talking to her, and she says about how she's been to Gotham City before. I
Yes.
just feel like, I mean, have you ever like seen a celebrity with your own eyes, like in person,
Yeah.
up close?
Yeah. They're
Doesn't
always
it?
tall.
They're
Like
always talking.
every
Are you
single
short?
celebrity. Oh yeah, I'm a shorty, 5'7". But I
Okay.
look and I'm like, man, like every celebrity. They used
Okay.
to film. You ever watch Suits? They filmed Suits in Toronto,
Okay. I
downtown.
know what show you're talking about, but
You do? Okay. So there was this. I used to work downtown before becoming a teacher, and there was a scene between the character Donna and Harvey Specter, and I actually took my mom out for Mother's Day. It was to a play, and so anyway, we're going back to our car, and then we see like these lights, and like, holy smokes, they're so tall, like both of them. Anyway, sorry, we
no,
got
that's okay.
sidetracked. I went from
No,
Batman to Suits,
do
redirect
you
back to Batman. Anyway,
seeing that person live in front of your own face? No camera filters, no makeup from Hollywood or anything. You see him right in front of your own eyes. It's still different, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, of course,
So I
of
try to
course.
take that into account, and then I wonder if I'm just trying to make excuses. But this woman said she's gone to Gotham City, at 18, and then she returned later as an adult, and she didn't recognize that this guy, who she keeps calling, do you remember?
Lazarus, which I
Lazarus.
was gonna ask you about.
She
Was that
keeps.
a coinky dink?
I mean, if you're gonna say Lazarus, I mean, Timotheus knows what he's doing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Of all the names you could choose, he chose that one. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Uh, but she doesn't recognize that this is Bruce Wayne.
Come on, the billionaire playboy
Yeah,
that's on TV everywhere. Like, you don't know. You've been to
and
Gotham. You
and
don't
I
know
wonder if
Bruce
like,
Wayne. He's the Prince of Gotham.
yeah.
You gotta go 100, was it 100 miles before you don't know who he is.
Don't come here with your anger. Uh, so that's where I'm like, but then maybe she does know, but she's just like by her telling him this story, maybe that's her way of saying that she knows. And like it's an inspiring speech of like you need to be Batman again, return and be Batman again. She knows you're Batman. Um and it's a good moment, but it's like that close, and it was on my mind of like she doesn't know that this is Bruce Wayne though. Like it's a little hard for me to believe. But
Mhm.
then she takes this whole story. I feel like it didn't have to still hit the same point of where she said that she returned like when she her first time in Gotham, and one night I came home and there was a man in my apartment. He had a gun. I fought that filthy animal with everything I had, but he raped me. He raped me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, we
Whoa.
just jumped I don't know how many levels to go to the extreme." I don't know it had to go that far to have the same effect.
Yeah.
Just you coming home and there's somebody in your place and he has a
Yeah.
gun, like that to me is like that's enough. I think that could
Yeah.
scare the hell out of anybody.
Oh
That could
yeah.
traumatize you. That could like really affect you for like long-term effects. And it really jumped pretty far. And I don't like being one to be like, well, it's unnecessary. Was anybody asking for this? It's like, no, this is the choices that were made. And I think I just stand on, I think it could have done less and had the same impact. I just feel like that one, it just stands out to me because like it went really far, really fast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It went far really fast. I'm just trying to think. If someone said, someone pulled a gun on me, I got scared and I never went back. As a reader, would I show as much sympathy in comparison to like, oh my God, there's a man there and then she got raped. And I'm just like I said, I went, whoa.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like I get that there are some deep scars.
Yeah.
And that's where, because she kind of mentions, like, you could tell that she was kind of going through, her words were no walls, no floors, just chaos, that she was going through a darkness,
Yeah.
which in my interpretation was, she felt like she was going through a depression, rightfully so.
Yeah.
And then when she did go back, this nightmare, instead of a gun that she was presented with, it was a knife. And then, but there was something different, and it was that there was this crazy man in a costume, which just so happened to be, it seemed like Batman,
Mm-hmm.
but he was dressed as a bat. So of course, yeah, as
As
Batman,
Batman.
yeah, as Batman. But then she added, or sorry, I think like at the end of it, I think it said something along the lines of he was a healer like her father. Um, and I think that was it. Her dad a doctor or something like that? Because Batman
Yes.
showing up and saving the day kind of just showed faith in humanity. But she was like, he kind of helped heal me just like my father would have. I'm assuming that's what I got from it.
It's
Um,
a it's a great, minus the part that really stands out to me. And I don't like, I think it's a really great story. Like she does a really good job of pushing him more towards like back to his destiny,
oh
of
yeah.
like back to Batman.
Yeah.
And yeah, I totally forgot about their linking about, how he'd said of like, my dad was a doctor too. But I think that was in the big
Yes.
history. Yeah, that 2-page spread that takes him through the whole healing process and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, it did too. I only lasted a few months, ended up going to medical school like my dad, and then coming home. And Bruce says, my father was a doctor. And she says, really? What was he like? He says, decent, compassionate, a real healer. All I wanted was to grow up to be just like him. And did you? No. I became everything he hated. That's a bit strong,
Oh,
Bruce. It's a bit strong.
yeah.
You became a freaking hero,
Yeah,
okay?
you came a hero. I know.
You're all right. Um, yeah, and it ends up leading to that story in which she ends up bringing something that's on that, basically on that hilltop, and she brings a package which he opens, and and it's the bat suit. And then we just get of where basically she leaves. Well, if you follow, not if you, because they're guiding us, this moon, and then we see this bat flying, and then oh my gosh, Dominic, the bat flies in front of the moon. It's like the bat
Oh yeah.
symbol. Oh my gosh,
Oh yeah.
that's amazing. And basically Batman, he's the Dark Knight Returns.
Oh yeah.
Essentially, the Dark Knight Returns for the big showdown in that last chapter, which I think is a lot of comic book goodness.
Oh my goodness, is it ever?
And it starts off in an interesting way in that, did you, or no, it would have been different because yours is collected, but almost as if it starts where you think like, wait, did I miss a chapter? And then it does a going like throughout, it mixes going back and forth to like leading us to this point that we started with while also continuing with the what we start with as well. And
Yeah.
I really liked that as a storytelling device for this final chapter.
Yeah. No, I
It's really
agree.
smart.
It kind of felt like a bit more like of the first chapter, whereas like chapters 2 and 3 kind of provided some substance and like
Yeah.
more story, whereas this was like a lot of action packed. Like even where you have the eyes, like it's Joseph Kerr's eyes, lightning strikes, and then you have Batman's eyes, and then
Yeah.
Joker's eyes. You're like, oh wow, okay, here we go. We're in for a show tonight, and just right off the bat, like Joker's got a violin, and I can't tell if this is a knife or just like is it one of those like the bow that he kind of uses the violin with? I forget what it's called. I apologize, but this one
Um, yeah,
showing
yeah,
on the
yeah.
screen.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I love that
yes.
page.
I'm not a musician. So I
No,
don't
neither.
have good, I don't have, yeah, I don't know.
But it
But
jumps
anyways.
right into the action. It's fantastic. Like, but you're right. Like, it kind of goes back and forth because then we get back into Joseph Kerr, and I'm like, wait a minute. Are we going? I guess we're going in a flashback. So, which I did enjoy. I just had to reread it
Mhm.
once and then kind of understand it because this is where you can
Yeah.
tell Joker's slowly starting to lose it. Like, he's like, Joseph Kerr, that's the fifth time. This is where Rebecca is saying, like, he's proposed to her for the fifth time. And he's like,
Yeah.
only the fifth time? I must be slipping. And he's like, well, let's
He's
try
all
for
giddy about
six.
it.
Oh yeah. And he's jumping around. You can kind of tell like the little Joker's kind of coming out,
Yeah.
right? Oh, happy, happy day. Like, I don't know. You can tell that he's coming out, and then sure enough, there's a newspaper of he's back with the picture of Batman. Joseph has no idea at that point where, you know, they're just excited that they're getting married, and they're going for a walk. He sees the newspaper, and as soon as he sees Batman's face, the transformation begins.
Yeah, and I think that's the most direct and blunt, but it's earned.
Yes.
Like turning point of the whole point of this story of oh, there's a Batman, well, there needs to be a Joker.
Yeah.
You know, and it snaps him back of like all this quote unquote progress, I guess you could say, that he's made with this new character, snaps right back to, and that can be so poetic and relatable to anybody with anything, almost, you know,
Oh yeah.
like this could almost be a like a metaphor for, substance abuse problems or, alcohol problems or, it could be something like that, even of just like I think I don't know, like if that's trying to be too deep, if DeMatteis is just like, I'm just trying to focus on Joker and Batman. I don't know. It's just I think that's why this is ongoing after
Oh
85
yeah.
years of Batman and Jokers, because they've really tapped into what works so well with the two
Yeah.
and how they are like opposites, but they just the Batman versus Joker is just always going to work as long as you get the characters correct,
Yeah.
in which he does in this
Yeah.
story. And it's a great just example of, as he says in The Dark Knight, you complete me.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to kill you. No, what would I do without you?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
he needs him. It's and there's different levels of showing that, exploring
Hmm.
that, and this is just one of those, but it's great because, intentional or not, looking at it in that last chapter when he's kneeling by the river, it makes me think of Killing Joke
Yeah.
after the accident, him by the river, and yeah, like all that's just like really good stuff. But then it's like they don't forgive. This team doesn't forget to give you like the comic book goodness that you want
Oh,
either, and more nods to Dick Sprang and how Joker's got a freaking Joker boat with his old head on the front, like
oh,
fantastic.
so good.
And it's not like I need that in my movies and everywhere. It's like if it works for the story, that's what I want it. As long as it works, and it totally works. I love it. I think it's great.
100% this works. I love it. It's like a huge face of Joker just, in a boat, and he's letting it be known that Joker's driving this vehicle in another costume, by the way.
Yeah,
But I absolutely love this, like you say, comic book goodness.
yeah.
Um, Batman is in his own little, I guess, like his
He's riding on
bat
wings,
boat.
a
Yeah, it kind of
bat
looks
boat,
like
cape
it.
boat, wings. I don't know.
I can't tell.
It's not as cool as Joker's boat, the Joker
Yeah,
boat.
yeah.
But I mean, that's
No.
fine. Let the Joker have it. Like he's got this one. And Joker even, I mean, again, constantly, changing his outfit, and he's dressed for the
Oh yeah,
part to drive the boat as well, which is great because that's totally Joker as well.
I dig it.
Yeah, I think, and it's a lot of fun. And I mean, Joker tries to get away, but Batman jumps on him, and basically they both fall into the water, and the boat explodes. And you can see that with that, like the jetpack on, that Joker is sinking, and
Oh
Batman
yeah.
hesitates. And glad he does this because, again, I mean, and this is like, this is a constant debate as well of like how many lives would you save if you just killed the Joker or you let him die, and Batman just can't do it.
Nope.
So there's something to explore there. Here, like specifically for this issue, though, I'm glad we get it where he does go back to get him, but then he's got this kind of like smirk as he's coming up. How did you or how do you take that? There's almost like a smile on his face as he's
Oh,
bringing Joker up.
Yeah, there
And that
is actually.
what do you how do you take that? What does that mean for you? Or does it not? Am I just looking into it? But I mean, the
Ryan,
artist had to draw that, and it's kind of like a smirk.
and they zoom right into that face. Like it is like right there. It's gradual for those that are listening, because we're not going to be on video. It's like they slowly zoom into Batman's face, and that is definitely a smirk. Like, yeah, I saved you, and you're like, is he happy to be around? And like, it's like Joker's back, or is it just more like, man, Ryan,
Yeah.
you stumped me.
Oh. Uh-oh.
That is a smirk, man. That to me, I'd
So you
interpret
don't
as a
know.
smirk. What about you?
Well, I'll make you feel even
Like,
better. I brought the question to the table because I don't know.
okay,
I
yeah,
don't have an answer. I don't know
like
what that's supposed to mean. And that's where I can feel stupid because I'm like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. What does
he's
it mean?
obviously in the next panel, like coming up out of the water, struggling
Yeah.
for air, but like going up, he's smiling. In
Yeah.
my, in I don't know. That's my interpretation too.
I'm full on
Like he's
Jack
happy to have him.
Skellington. What does it mean? What does it mean? I don't know. What does it mean? I don't know. I think it ends really like I said, following that is the news coverage and
Hmm.
Rebecca looking at the picture. The cover of your trade basically is a mock-up image of the next page that's just full Joker laughing in the strong, the jacket. And
It's
then we cap it off with the doctor getting flowers from who? Oh, just a card. Batman stationery,
oh yeah,
as he does.
yeah,
And Batman standing triumphantly in the middle of on a cliff during the day, which
yes,
a daytime at Batman for me is never one that I long for. But I'm like, it's good. It's fine.
no.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I, I agree with you. What? Okay, so for this part, like that last part where Batman's standing, looks like on a mountaintop, or a hill, I can't tell, but it just shows that like I like the part where Batman's kind of showing like, or the DeMatteis is telling like there's that purpose of why Batman is around. Batman was reminded as to why he's around. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
there's gonna be some down days and dark days that he's feeling. He's gonna be feeling alone. And they kind of DeMatteis alludes to that too, where he wanted to even open up to Gordon and just give the guy a hug, but he couldn't show weakness.
Yeah.
Like, that he had an injured rib and he was limping and he couldn't show that. But like here, where Batman's just showing like like expressing this gratitude to Dr. Eagles, and it's just a simple back card, where she's smiling ear to ear. And the way that they ended off, in moments of weakness and despair, he'll return, and it will give him the strength to go on. The chaos may suck him down. Its swirling, horrific depths break his bones, crush his spirit, but because of this place, because of that woman, he'll rise up time and time again, whole and sane. And it's just a reminder that every life that he saves is a reminder for him as to why he does what he does.
Yeah.
And there might be times where
Yep.
it's like, why? It's kind of like a job. Like, there might be a couple of moments in a job where you're like, why am I doing this? And then there's those like bright spots. You're like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
It's the Charlie Brown tale
Oh
of
yeah.
like constantly getting kicked down, but then he gets that win. And it's like, this is why I keep doing it. Okay. One of these days, Lucy's not going to move the football and I'm going to kick it. And it's going to be a good kick. But,
I got a
anyways,
question for you though. So that's why I was like, okay, I talked about that, but I like where it ends off, where like you alluded to, where what's her name? Oh my
the
God.
doctor,
The no,
Rebecca.
Rebecca. And she's looking, she's crying over the photo of Joseph Kerr, and then it kind of just ends off with that one page panel of Joker just laughing in Arkham Asylum. Would you have preferred that the issue ends right there rather than
Hmm.
having it end off where then it's Dr. Eagles gets those flowers and it's like a nice fairy tale ending?
It's a good question. You know what? I don't know if I'd say I'd rather. I think it could have, and it would have ended stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the moment of those last two pages.
Yeah.
Batman sending the flowers with, but also like, yeah, I don't think, huh? I do think that'd be quite a punctuation on the story. Because Rebecca Brown believes that even the tiniest drop of their love has the power to grow into a stream, a river, an ocean that can, that will, that must carry her beloved Joseph back to her one day. Her
Yep.
beloved Joseph, as we have this whole page up close of Joker in a straitjacket just laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the irony of that, like all of it is, yeah, that'd be a good punctuation, I think.
Yeah.
It could have ended at that spot and it would have been good. So
Loved it.
that's my um half answer, I guess. I don't know.
Huh.
Did we or is there anything that you wanted to touch on that we didn't before I get into some questions?
There was a couple, maybe. Hold on, let me see. Um, just going through. Da, 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 da. No, I think we actually pretty much, yeah, we did. We covered everything. Like there was this one page panel where I guess I'll talk about it afterwards, but this one
The
was
big boom.
just
The boat blew up.
kaboom. And you can tell that just another bomb went off. But, you know, overall, actually, I was going to ask you about the art. Um, what was your take for this story about the art? Or do you want to talk about that, like when it comes to the favorite panel?
Let's talk about it with the with the panel.
Okay,
So let's
okay,
let's
okay.
let's dip into questions then.
Yes, you've got a question?
So, Dominic, what was your favorite part of going
So,
sane?
of going sane. It was actually the part where, um, sorry, I am gonna show. It was actually the ending. I did like the ending as much as I would have preferred them to add, like you said, the punctuation of just having it end off where, Rebecca's crying over Joseph Kerr, and then you have Joker just laughing hysterically. Maybe that is my favorite part though, of like the irony in that, but I do like it where it's like the reason why Batman is who he is. I just kind of ends off on a good note. I really enjoyed that part. The other one was, and like, I'm not a big fan where like Batman has to show all this heart. I really not. Like, I know that you and Pete have talked about it where it's like he shows like, what was it? I love you, son. Like, you
Yeah,
guys aren't big on that, and I'm
so
I'm right there
mushy.
with you. Like, no, not too much emotion, but like even like towards Gordon where he's like, I can't show weakness. And I did like that part where he shows up, he's in the shadows, very Batman. And I think that's probably my favorite part where, and he's just like, he says, I'm back. And he just opens up like in his internal dialogue, like, I can't show him that I'm injured because it kind of ruins that illusion.
Hmm.
Which I completely agreed with. Like, he has to show that he's unbreakable, he's tough, and like there's nothing wrong. Um, I did laugh at one part though, where it was just right in Batman's face. He's like, "Of course. How is it that like Joseph Kerr?" And all of a sudden, it's like that was staring me right in the face, and it seemed like Bruce Batman was like upset that he couldn't come up with something better. Joker couldn't come up with something better. I had a good chuckle about that, but I'd say, yeah, no, my favorite part would probably be that Jim Gordon Batman moment where they are talking and Batman's just telling him, I'm back. And then he's in the shadows. I do like that part.
Nice. My favorites, and I'd like to be like, something deep, this good moment. Da, da, da. No, it's the end with the Joker boat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's comic bookiness, but
Yep.
not too. It's like a darker tone, but embracing that, like comic book aspect of it all. It's
Love
like
it.
it floored me when I was that Lee Bermeo, my favorite Batman artist, his stuff is very dark, and mature and raw and gritty. And
Hmm.
he loves Dick Sprang, who is the like polar opposite
Yeah.
kind of that art. And so I like sometimes when there's a good blending of the two that just, that just works. And I think that just kind of worked, you know.
I think it was on. I'm gonna veer off a little bit,
Okay.
but you had Lee on. I want to
I
say episode
did.
100,
That's right.
and he did share that. And the other thing that threw me for a loop was one of his favorite stories was Arkham Asylum. Was that the? Am I right?
Yeah. We talked Arkham Asylum, yeah.
Yeah. Like, and I'm talking like you look at Arkham Asylum, like just the art alone, like this is not Liebermejo vibe, right? But it's got the darkness, which I feel like you can feel the grittiness and the darkness that
Yeah.
Lee brings. But and then his favorite artist I remember him sharing was Dick Sprang. What? Out of
Yeah.
all of them,
It's kind of
Dick Sprang, huh?
mind-blowing,
Yeah.
but cool. Whatever
Yeah.
you need to get you to where you're delivering this good stuff.
Yeah. Listen.
All right, now we can talk a little bit more about art because I want to ask you, what was your favorite panel in Going
So,
Sane?
and it had nothing necessarily to do with the story. Obviously, Joker um it just looked like he was exploding something. I showed it to you, and it's where he goes bada boom. And I go by the Ryan Lauer school of thinking where it's like you look at a picture
Yeah.
and like there's all this fire. Like it's like, okay, can you tell a story with a picture, right? Or a panel? And it's like I see this picture of Joker with fire all around him, and I'm just like, there's so much that you can do and tell, like with just this one part, or this one panel as to like what he exploded, what's he going through, and just the level of like, yeah, there's a lot of red, but it's also a lot of like you say, comic bookiness,
Hmm.
like bada boom, like gives me 66 vibes. And then you got that big image of the Joker's face. So. Yeah, like I feel like that was, I don't know, I really enjoyed that part, especially in terms of the panel. I loved it. But there's so
Uh,
many in here.
there's yeah, there's some good images.
Hmm.
I dig early on in the first chapter on page 65 of Batman
Ooh.
in the cave with him looking and the Joker's on all the
Oh.
monitors. Because similar to like what you just said, and you could tell that Batman, it's almost like, looking down. And I'm like, yeah, that's Batman's in the Batcave with all of his monitors that have Joker on it. And it's just like, just that image. There's such a variety of eras and artists that could do that image. They'd all be pretty different. And like just that image on its own, you could create a story behind or something, like you can take that out of context and it would like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always a cool image for me.
Not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna choose the Joker boat as well.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
a
Well,
pretty
I'm
good
glad I
panel.
surprised you.
Yeah, you did.
Would you like to see this adapted in animation?
I do.
Hmm.
I would like it a little bit more fleshed out.
Okay.
As to like to kind of build that connected, not the connected, yeah, I guess like because it kind of threw me off in the beginning where, and I don't know why, maybe it's because it was the was it councilman, the councilwoman, I forget her name, right, Kenner, and then Rebecca, and then like sometime like I don't know, I just kind of wish it was just slightly more fleshed out in that sense. But would I like to see an animation? Absolutely.
Okay.
I do think you can make it into. I wouldn't say it's a 20-minute episode. Um, you for sure. Well, maybe you can, but I don't think so. I think it would be probably more of like an animation movie.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's enough here. Uh, I think it'd be tough to flesh out to a whole movie, but there's too much to try and just do like a one episode.
Yeah.
I don't know where the balance would be because otherwise, that middle section is Batman rehabilitating and Joker becoming Joseph.
Yep.
And you have too long of that, people get impatient and start to get
Hmm.
bored. You don't have enough of it, well, then it's too underdeveloped. So I don't know, but I think like this flat out could be, and that's why they hire professional writers.
Yeah.
Like
This is why.
DeMatteis, he's written television and movies before. Like he let him take a swing at it. Like, hey, 75-minute animated movie called Batman Go Insane. Like, have at it. Like
Go
that.
for it,
That'd be awesome. I think that'd be yeah. Gimme, 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 gimme.
man. More animation, Batman animation. I'm all
Yep.
for it.
Yeah. So since this is your, this was your first time reading it, and it's pretty fresh of how you felt in finishing it for the first
Hmm.
time. Like as we wrap up here, like what are your thoughts on Going Sane?
I like the depth. I like that they explored this is a very different Joker story
Hmm.
compared to what I've read, where it's just simply Joker. Um, is it my top five? I'd have to kind of write this down, but I know it's divisive. But Three Jokers is in there. Killing Joke obviously is in there. Joker's Five Way of Revenge would be top three. But like, does this fit into the top five? I don't know. The art at first I actually liked it. Like at first I was like,
It
but
grew
no, I
on me.
did. I actually, yeah, it grew on me. And like you said, it was like that comic booky goodness. Um, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, no, I dug the art. The story, it was very there was a lot of depth to it for me. And I know I keep repeating myself when it comes to that. That's why I'm like, did I like it? I think I did. Like this is like a nice
Yeah.
the one thing that kind of threw me and I was like, 6 months that Batman was out of the game, like that long? That's where I'm like, but
Eh,
it didn't
okay.
matter. Like, you know
Fair.
what? Like I actually really enjoyed this read. Like it was I don't know. I loved it. I'm just not
Nice.
sure if it would be top five or top 10. For sure, top 10.
There's something, the idea, like it just hits on what I had mentioned earlier on Joker needs Batman. There's something that like they're just linked in a
Yeah.
weird freaking way. They kind of need each other, and they're polar opposites. The evil one is dressed aesthetic, looks like a happy thing that you're supposed to be happy and enjoy, and the good one is dressed as something dark and scary that you run away from. Like the opposites there, the ironies there, all of it is just like great. And I think this fits into that of just exploring that one avenue of if they don't have each other, what are they like? And I
Yeah.
think that's why this one always stands out to me, even though I end up always getting foggy on the details. The art kind of like, yeah, at first for some reason, like I did not like it at any point,
Yeah.
but it's just like just like took a little bit to settle in, and then I was all in and I really dug it. But at
Yeah.
first I was like, oh, it's just a little different for me. It's a little
Yeah.
different. And then I was good and I liked it. And I just think DeMatteis did such a great job with the story that I mean, I think it could be dissected more than you and I just did it. I think we did a pretty good
Yeah.
job dissecting it. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
others could dissect it even more.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
like there was a part where I was mentioning, oh yeah, like I forgot about the part where Bruce is talking of like talking internal dialogue. He's like, Joseph Kerr, Joe Kerr, what? And then he just smashes the computer screen like this is
Yeah.
staring me in the face. But I just found it funny that he's like, Joker, you couldn't come up with something better than Joseph
Yeah.
Kerr, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like overall, like this was. There's a lot of depth to it, and a lot like I like the psychological aspect for
Yeah.
exploring Joker's psyche and what could be or what could have been. And like, it just, you know, even the question that you asked about is Joker like, is this something where do you think he kind of predetermined like I'm gonna be Joseph Kerr, pretend I have all this money and this is I got it from my parents? Like it's a good question to kind of think about, right? Because I never thought about it. I just assumed, yep, this is what the writer's telling me. This is what it is.
Yeah.
But Joker is like multiple choice. Never know.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm glad that you looked this up and found it on your own, explored first on your own, and then, we synced up so that we could then talk about it
Yes.
for this show as well. So that's my way of saying, Dominic, thanks for coming back on the show.
Thank
Great,
you for having me
great
on.
conversation.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Great conversation. I hope that you'll come back again sometime.
Please.
Uh,
Of
you'll
course,
you'll just
man.
start updating me of like, hey, wow, what a coincidence. I'm reading this, Ryan. No, nothing. I'm reading this, Ryan. No, nothing. I'm reading this. Ah, there we go. Okay.
There we go.
That's what he wanted to talk
Done.
about. Is there anything that you want to plug for anybody to follow you or anything at all?
Sure.
Take it away.
There's a podcast that you've been on, Beyond the Bad
Boop,
Signal.
boop.
So I have an X/Twitter account at Beyond Bad Signal. I couldn't fit the in that Twitter handle.
Ah,
So I limited to so many characters. And then yeah, if you have any questions, shoot me an email, but at beyondthebatsignal@gmail.com. But that's about it. You can find Ryan's been on the show a couple of times ranking favorite Arkham games.
Yeah.
And even Pete's been on as well. So we had a good time chatting it up. And yeah, that's where you can find it, Beyond the Bat Signal.
All right. Excellent. Yeah. He's been a gentleman and a scholar and has allowed me to come on his show twice. You were on for Heart of Hush,
Yes.
which was maybe last November, I
Yeah,
think.
right around
Something
there.
like that. I'm sorry I don't have the episode for it right here, but yeah, just scroll. Just scroll just a little bit to last November. Boom. There's our
Do the
episode.
work.
So, yeah, do the work. Let's see. Follow the Batman Book Club on the socials at the Batman BC, where you can find what else is coming up on Joker Month. Should be kind of fun. Hopefully, make you laugh. Let's see. Subscribe to Batman Book Club on YouTube channel. Pete and I will eventually get back to No Man's Land. It's going to happen, I promise. Pete, you should be able to hear him a couple times this month on this show, and maybe next month too. Stick around. If you want to support the show, a couple ways you can do that. Patreon.com/thebatmanbc, tpublic.com, type in TBBC for the Batman Book Club. But if you want to support the show and you don't want to spend any money at all, it's 100% A-OK. The easiest, quickest, most impactful thing that you can do to help this show is to rate and review it. However you listen to it, whatever podcast outlet, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, wherever, go to the rate and review page, rate and review the show, because the more reviews the show gets, the more it helps spread the word. And as we all know, that word is panic. So, for Dominic, I am Ryan Lauer. And until next time, read more Joker comics.
Oh.